Good morning, everyone. What is going on? Welcome to another episode of Mattyverse. I think I may run with that name moving forward. Honestly, it was just a name I thought I'd throw out there and test, but Mattyverse sounds cool. I almost feel like I need to rebrand DCL Blogger to Mattyverse. Yo, welcome. Day number 16, fourth week, I believe. We're almost 1 month in with these daily streams. Feeling good. Always a joyous start to my day. I love running these streams and going through some content. I got some really interesting stuff for you guys to cover, just general happenings over the weekend. But as usual, findings from my AI rabbit holes, right? There's a tool here that I found that I think would be very handy to content creators. Came across it on a random YouTube video, but I wanted to share that with you guys at some point. Anyway, the weekend is over. What is going on? It is time to get into NFTs and metaverse stuff. I hope you guys all have had a great weekend. I think it is still the weekend for some of you guys out there in the other side of the world. It's 8 a.m. in Melbourne. Pretty, I haven't even looked outside. I think it's a little sunny. Take a look. Yeah, a little bit of mix of sun and clouds. So, ready to get started. As usual, guys, we will get into some content. I'll flip to you guys for a little bit of a Q&A / just sharing information. Good morning, good morning. Let's see who's here. T Suking. Hello, Maddie. What's going on? Good morning. John, what's up? Good to see you as usual. Matt L, good morning. Everyone else. Fawad Naeem. Seems like good morning. Nebula Trading, good to see you. What is going on? Awesome. 16 people here. All right, guys. This week I wanted to aim for getting an interview lined up. So whether that's an isolated podcast or that is a live session here on this YouTube live, we are going to interview someone. All right. So getting into, if you guys have noticed, I've been trying to get my content game back in the groove of things. So committing to almost turn something on once a week or once in a fortnight. YouTube lives have now been consistent, so it's time to start interviewing, podcasting. I'm going to start hitting Twitter Spaces soon as well. Xerox Kryptonian, what is going on? Good to see you as usual. All right, shall we jump into it? I think we will. We're at 8:06 a.m. We're going to go for about 30 minutes, and that's it for the stream. But yeah, let's get into it, guys. XP, what's going on? Good to see you. All right. Let's start with nftstatistics.eth. So nftstatistics.eth is a pretty cool profile to follow. Looks like a she by the profile image. Very regular in posting stats on what is going on in the NFT space, which kind of cuts the crap and tells you the math, which I love. As a math person, I love this, right? So making sense of the Bored Ape Yacht Club increase in activity. I think over the weekend it went pretty crazy. Apes have reflipped punks. So there's some random statistics here that are being tracked. So here's a ratio of Bored Ape Yacht Club floor to Crypto Punks floor. You've got a 1-to-1 ratio, means that they are equal in price. At some point, Bored Apes were 2.5x the CryptoPunk floor. So it looks like they've come down to 1. And this is very telling of a project. When you start to graph them against a ratio, you can start to see the momentum of potentially flipping again, right? If that ratio is coming down, then maybe it shows another project either increasing or this one decreasing. Obviously, it might indicate or signal a time to invest. And this is what I mean by the NFT industry will do much better, or at least have more market participants as there's more transparency on the data that making sense of this whole economy, right? This ratio is a pretty cool one to follow. There is a recent one over here, which I also thought was pretty interesting over here. Yuga volume versus total ETH volume on OpenSea. So ETH NFT volume, I don't know if this is just OpenSea or this is everything, but the fact that you can sort of track ETH volume versus Yuga volume, which means, all right, so between 10%, so right at the start in 2022, early 2022, about 5 to 15% seemed to be just Yuga volume. There was times where 60% of all ETH NFT volume was just Yuga. I mean, now in the last 3 to 4 months, it seems between 10 to all the way up to 30%, between 10 to 30%, an average, let's say an average of 20%. An average of 20%, maybe just lower than 20%, over the last 3 to 4 months has been just Yuga Labs volume. Just one project has provided 20% of the ETH volume to NFT trade, NFT trade volume. Isn't that crazy? One project, 20%. I mean, this is something we used to see in the very early days of NFTs when there was only like maybe 5 projects to keep on top of. Between, I think CryptoKitties was like 60% of the volume, and then Decentraland became like a good 20, 30, 40% of the volume and flipped CryptoKitties in all-time volume. And then as new projects came, they sort of retook their positions. But very interesting information over here. So anyway, this is a pretty cool account to follow. Just wanted to put on your radar. Yuga Labs faces another investigation. So this is an article on NFT plazas, which I would follow, guys, if I was you. NFT plazas is really cool. They're not as big as some major news media websites, but they've been around for a very long time. Rio is a good friend. There's probably the most consistent article writing on many topics. So every day there's like 5 to 8 topics to cover. And it gives me some really interesting topics to talk about. So a pretty cool news site, NFT Plazas. Make sure you check it out. Underrated, I think. I think they're super underrated. Anyway, Yuga Labs faces another investigation. It looks like they have got another investigation by Securities and Exchange Commission. I don't know. By Scott plus Scott, a consumer rights firm has also announced a new investigation into them. According to the November 23rd, 2022 press release, the law firm wants to determine whether Yuga Labs or certain of its officers, directors, promoters, and corporate insiders have violated federal securities laws. In light of this, the firm has encouraged anyone who bought a Yuga Lab asset and suffered a heavy loss to come forward. Some popular Yuga Lab assets include Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, ApeCoin NFTs. From all indications, the law firm is gearing up for a potential class action lawsuit against the company. Are you kidding me? In the press release, the fall in the market value of Yuga Labs assets appear to be part of the basis of the lawsuit. So what, you're going to sue them because your investment went down? There has always been some conflict about whether or not NFTs and other blockchain assets are securities, and the argument might be put forward in a court of law. A little concerning. There has always been this gray cloud looming over the NFT industry, whether or not NFTs constitute to be or classify to be securities. I believe securities are a class of goods that are investable, where you need to KYC your participants of that project in order to sell those goods. So obviously, if you're selling apples and oranges, no one cares. You don't need to KYC anyone. The moment you start to sell assets that may be an investment, the government needs to know who these people are, because they could be money laundering, they could be the buying and selling for profit, they could be wash trading. When you attach, the government likes to attach names and addresses to people that buy assets that return value. So there's still a debate that's going on whether or not NFTs classify as investments, and that is why it is super risky to talk on Twitter about your project and its prices, and how many investors it is, or allude to it being predominantly an investor class category project. And that is why some projects like Decentraland, who want to be considered a DAO, who want to be considered community driven, who want to be safe from legislation and regulations, don't talk about price or NFTs or anything. NFT price, no virtual land stuff. I used to tell them all the time, hey guys, talk about the virtual land economy, talk about the mana token sometimes, you're doing really well, let's share some awareness. No, they couldn't do it because their lawyers would tell them that would get them into hot water. So even with Medikey, as much as I want to talk about the price and what's coming up next and stuff, I try my best not to, because when when legislation comes and regulation comes and the whole industry shifts and there's an earthquake in this space, basically, some projects will come under scrutiny on how they classify themselves. Are they an investment project? Are their community buying them to invest? And honestly, a lot of NFT projects fall into this category. In fact, you would think all of them do, because NFTs unlock an economy. And I would think like MetaKey and some of these projects being some of these very rare projects being very utility driven, hopefully they wouldn't be classified an investment, right? It'd be an item you use to get access into things. That's another thing that can be argued about these NFTs. Are they increasing in value through their use? Do they have utility that in turn increases their value? I don't exactly know how securities are classified, but it is interesting to watch this debate unfold. It's also, like I said, a bit concerning, because if NFTs are a security, it might stop a lot of new NFT projects from launching. You may have to go launch it through a cryptocurrency exchange where, all these people are already KYC'd, and so when they buy something, people know. And this is why this is, as this space grows, it seems more regulations push this to more Web 2 practices. As much as we love the MetaMask wallet, as much as we like buying NFTs anonymously, it might just be an age that, or a small phase or an era that might not exist, sadly. Let's see how it all goes. Obviously, I don't want it to be like that. No one does. But regulators are really slow. Regulators and legislators and people that look at this and provide frameworks, they're so damn slow to know what's going on. I mean, this year, after 10 years of crypto, is where they've started to catch on and provide some frameworks and some clarity, at least in Australia, about crypto trading. So NFTs, I don't know if this is probably going to take another 5 years. So I'm not really concerned about it being in the near future, but I am wary of it, right? It's an indicator as to how maybe crypto exchanges might see a lot of volume, or maybe OpenSea might pivot and change, or maybe it might give some indication as to, if you're building a product or a service, how you can maybe facilitate an in-between for this stuff. Anyway, Yuga Labs. Also, it's very telling of projects that get really, really, really big. I mean, Yuga Labs and Bored Apes were plastered in the front of every newspaper, every article, every mainstream media firm that was talking NFTs. There was Bored Ape Yacht Club everywhere on there, right? So it seems the larger you get, the more popular and industry iconic you get, the more under scrutiny you become. Natural progression of growth, but it demands a whole different approach, right? You need a PR team, you need a marketing team, you need people that can respond to this stuff. You need a damn good legal team. It's a bit scary. Like, if you have a project and it grows really, really big, this is what you're gonna have to face. I mean, the founders would probably have to just fight for their project to stay alive at some point. So who knows if you're going to see more of this for Web3 specific projects that boom and become big. All right, there was an article here done on NFT Now on the 12 historical NFTs that shaped the foundation of Web3, written by Leonardus. Now, any NFT historical article or anything, even one written by me, will come with bias, right? It will come with bias because we've all invested based on what we think works, so we will write an article based on what we think in order of its significance is, etc., etc. So I would hope this would be as unbiased as possible. It is written to say that it's unbiased, so let's assume it is. I'm going to touch upon some of them. I mean, I don't even know what this is. 12 lineage, name registrar. It looks like this is a name register. In 2015, you could register names or domain names. So here's one that, take some time to look into these. It could most closely be linked to the ENS, a simple service that eliminates the need for user to input overlong IP addresses or crypto wallet addresses. Let's start from the start. In October 2022, NFT archaeologist Mason was working to decompile every contract on the first 300,000 blocks deployed. And he had one goal in mind: to discover the oldest NFTs on record on the digital ledger. Perhaps his most notable discovery was the Lineage name registrar, which was dated just 1 week after Ethereum's initial public launch. But is this the first NFT in existence? Not quite. To date, the Lineage name register currently possesses the oldest known smart contract on Ethereum. So what is it exactly? In contemporary terms, it could most closely be likened to the ENS, blah, 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 blah. It predates the entire NFT movement. So is it a contract? It does possess the underlying technology that played a significant role in the popularity of NFTs today. So it looks like it was a contract, if I am understanding this right. So this was the first contract. Not so much the first NFT. All right. And then there was this thing called Quantum. This was the first GIF, I believe, to ever be minted on blockchain. So minted during the early stage of blockchain technology. Quantum is the most commonly cited as the first NFT ever created. Digital artist Kevin McCoy minted Quantum on the pre-Ethereum Bitcoin offshoot Namecoin in 2014, where it lay forgotten for years until it went up for auction on Sotheby's and sold for more than $1 million in June 2021. You know what? There's an interesting story about this one. So this was the first, I believe, GIF NFT or NFT that was put on blockchain. And then, like this article is saying, it was forgotten about. And then it went up for auction, right? And then it went up for auction, and then someone came and sued Sotheby's and saying, wait a second, I own the original. So there was an interesting story on this. So following the $1 million sale, its legality was called into question by experts that noted a specific quirk about Namecoin, namely how users need to renew whatever is minted on the Namecoin blockchain every 250 days to retain ownership. Before McCoy's successful sale of Quantum, the NFT had been left unrenewed by him for years. This enabled a completely new entity, Free Holdings Inc., to reportedly scoop up the ownership rights for the oldest NFT. Currently, the sale still stands, with McCoy successfully bringing this piece of NFT history into this mainstream awareness. So it looks like someone renewed it. It's interesting because Namecoin has an expiry date on the NFTs, I believe. So either this one was not renewed or renewed, and this is where it gets really interesting and a bit confusing, to be honest, in early blockchain NFTs, because Ethereum came up 2015, and then the 721 standard legitimized everything but create a standard where the NFT now lies. But before that, there was different types of tokens that were created on blockchain that not were termed NFTs but were used to store non-fungible media, right? But they worked in different ways. So this one, you had to renew the NFT to keep it in existence. Some of them had expiry dates. Some of them had properties where you could actually break apart the NFT and have the NFT in multiple fungible components, so therefore it wasn't a true NFT in that sense. There's all these random things that people debate whether or not the early ones were NFTs or not. That's why much of these have to be wrapped in a contract to be sellable on OpenSea, because OpenSea only allows 721 and 1155 standards to be sold on. So I don't want to go through all of these, but an interesting article if you want a bit of a crash course on the history of some NFTs. Right, nice project here to go through. My opinion on historical NFTs is that no matter how advanced or progressive this space becomes, historical NFTs will always be written about. They will always be discovered. Just like 200, 300 years ago, there were people creating vases and pots and pans and all those sort of things that are now valuable. You would think that these will become valuable. That the history, I mean, things in the real world become forgotten, right? Things in the real world become forgotten. That's because it's hard. There's no ledger that 100% of the time will record what was released and when, and the transactions of them. The beautiful thing about blockchain, and this is like the best thing about blockchain, is it tracks everything. So if someone comes here 2 years later and was like, you know what, we were the first virtual land project in 2019, or if Decentraland puts their hands up and claims that, well, we can turn back the clock and say, no, you weren't. There was another project before that, right, that minted their first land NFT. So there is plenty. I think no matter, the history books when they're written, the TV shows when they are made, they'll talk about all these projects. Some of them may be new, some of them may be established, but they will always talk about a segment around the historical projects, and those that will be most commonly talked about in that historical era, obviously CryptoPunks, and some others, they will go on to have tremendous value, I would think. So holding on to some of my historical projects, they may take a very long time to build momentum to, but I feel like at some point they will. Spells of Genesis is an interesting thing. This is the last one I'll go through. A couple of others. Spells of Genesis is an interesting one. There was this whole trading card game built on blockchain, believe it or not. In the early days, it was called Spells of Genesis, and this has a lot of early artwork on certain projects. So here's some early artwork on Satoshi. There was some early Litecoin art in here, Doge art in here. So there's a Doge card that sells for, I think it sells for like 2 to 3 ETH. And the way you can buy these guys is if you go to Emblem Vault, that's the one. Emblem Vault. So Emblem Vault allows you to wrap non-Ethereum assets into a wallet or vault and then sell the whole wallet as an NFT. And technically you're selling the NFT, right? So seeing tremendous volume ever since people figured out how it works. And every now and then you see a Doge, look at this Dogecoin card, the one that I was talking about, sold for 0.8 Ethereum. There's still a lot of volume here. You can go check out this Emblem Vault to see what sort of historical projects seem to get the most volume. It seems to be Pepe's and Spells of Genesis. Every now and then there's a random project that I've never seen before, but it's an interesting way. You can, it's look, Sarutobi card sold for 0.55 ETH. So what I like to see is in a bear market, what has volume. So, I'll keep dialing it back. Did these keep being bought, 5 days ago, 6 days ago, 10 days ago? What sort of things are getting bought? So here, another one, Sarutobi card was bought. So this is 2015. So I think this was number 1 of 1600. Is that what it's saying? Sarutobi card, the earliest NFT, what is this called? The earliest NFT apes. Right, so people are buying this because it's the first ape. It's the first monkey. Is that why these are going nuts? Because this is the first monkey. This is the first monkey on blockchain. Because it's the first monkey art on blockchain. Is that why people are buying this card? There's a 1600 supply versus 10,000 Bored Apes. It's funny how the narratives form, isn't it? I mean, will people look for the first monkey ever to be minted on blockchain? I don't know. I don't think so. But this is a very weird part of blockchain, right? If you want to get into NFT history, it's a very weird part of blockchain. You're going to come across some stuff. You're going to be like, what was even going on at this time? But it's a very interesting one because the narrative of NFT timeline is still being written. All right, let's keep moving on. I don't want to dwell upon historical projects for too long. If you would like, go check it out. We have about 8 minutes, so another 5 to 6 minutes I'll spend here before I jump to you guys. The Saudis. Why am I bringing up the Saudis? Well, it turns out that the Saudi win in the World Cup against Argentina, epic match, by the way, and to beat freaking Argentina, 2 times World Cup champions, that was insane. Saudi Arabia making a big mark on the sports industry. If you guys don't know, Saudi Arabia is actually going through a major reformation. So I think they're spending like trillions of dollars to revitalize the whole country and make it look different in 7 years. So they've got a 2030 vision, and there's 8 years from now, or basically 7 years from now, they want to revitalize the whole country. They want to make new cities and new buildings and new everything, right? Check this out. If you guys haven't seen this, I actually just came across this the other day. There's this really interesting project called The Line in Saudi. I don't know if you guys have come across this, but it's freaking insane, right? Check this out. Is there... Oh, wait, I muted this.
Home to 9 million residents and will be built with a footprint of just 34 square kilometers.
I actually just came across
and
this
we are designing it to provide a health.
Unfortunately, I can't mute both my YouTube video and this. But anyway, they're freaking building this line of a building across their desert that overlooks the ocean and in between mountains. And it can house like thousands of people. and offices and spaces in there. So this is a residency. You can live in here. Business, health, retail, blah blah blah. It's insane. Like, I don't even know how they even thought of this. Mirror glass facade, blah blah blah. They've got like environmental stuff. Looks pretty cool. I don't know when it's gonna be built, but just in the middle of the world, they're building in between mountains and oceans this line of residence. So it's gonna be apparently the most efficient place in the world to go live. Well, it's Neom City, part of the Neom City vision, which is to build this whole new era of doing business in Saudi. So I think they want to compete with their other Middle Eastern, neighbors. That you've got Dubai, Abu Dhabi, etc. And these guys want to just pump trillions to make it happen, right? Saudi is going to get real different in the next 7-8 years. It's going to be really interesting to see what's going on. Anyway, back to that. So Saudi won the World Cup, which now puts some interest, NFT interest in the Saudis. So the Saudis is an interesting project. Got 10,000 ETH volume. They've blown up back in the day. And I don't know if there's any validity to this. I don't think there is. But it seems that in the last few days, or at least during the World Cup, they saw an immense amount of volume. But when I go over here, it doesn't seem like it shows much volume. So I think it just surged in the sense of the volume of trades that happened. So here you got 7 ETH or 23 ETH, and back here you had 2 to 3 ETH. So someone would have been like, oh yeah, it surged, 400%. But holistically, it did very little. So I just thought it was a little funny thing to cover. Artifact, I'm super interested in this because on the 29th or the 30th, which is my tomorrow, there's going to be their egg drop. So they're releasing eggs to all CloneX holders. If you guys know, I have like 65 or 70 eggs. I've got an insane amount of eggs. Sorry, not eggs, CloneXs. And I'm going to probably get 60 to 70 eggs. So we may do a giveaway around here, all right? I'll give away an egg. A hatched egg. Let's hatch all the eggs, and I'll give someone away. Give one away on the stream when that happens. So look out for that on the Wednesday or the Thursday. Let's have some fun. We'll bring Maddie's giveaways back. I also want to give away this, and I also want to open this, right? So check this out. I have this Gary V collectible card set in here. I think I've got like 15 sets of cards in here. So I want to open these up, and I might give one away. But the most annoying thing would be to send this or post this to someone. Can't be bothered posting it. But I might open these up, and I don't know what I'm going to get in these and if they're even valuable at all. But I've got a bunch of physical V-Friends card. I don't know if there's... Maybe I'll get a rare one in here and I'll keep for a while. But again, yeah, this week we're going to bring a couple of giveaways back. And we're also going to do a podcast or something. So that's the ads that I'm going to do this week. Every week I try and add a little bit more to my content game. So yeah, this is going to be fun, right? Did I grab a potatoes? Asks RJ. No, I haven't. I haven't bought any NFTs for a while now. I think I'm just watching the space, right? I'm not going to buy too many NFTs. But potatoes, why? Did they boom? Don't tell me they boomed. If potatoes have gone crazy, then I'll be sad. 1.6 ETH. I did say I was interested in buying these, so it looks like they're pretty much the same price. But potatoes are Memeland's avatar project. I believe it's their Genesis set. So if Memeland rolls out and it's an actual really cool 2D world, it might have the potential because there's millions of people that follow 9gag, right? So people might jump in and want to walk around, run around, and maybe participate in this 2D world. And potatoes might have value. But these seems to have a pretty consistent volume. I want to see who... Let's see who the... This is a way you can see who the top holders are. Or how much is owned by the company. So 500 is owned by Memeland. 295 is owned by Null Address. That means it's burnt. Wait. Doesn't that mean it's burnt? Null Address is all just burnt stuff. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Degen's fund owns 72. Kung's 58. XST. No regular names. Young Pioneer, Moonwalk, Brotherhood, Little Magic, Voxel Blaze 15. Coco.eth comes in with 15. So now we're getting to some familiar faces. Yeah, 9gag. Anyway, let's not get sidetracked. CZ comes out. Oh my god, it's already 8:34 a.m. CZ came out saying that a new set of 487 million WhatsApp phone numbers for sale in the dark web. A sample indicates the phone numbers are legit. Please stay vigilant as threat actors downstream will use this data to conduct phishing with messaging. Smishing? Is that a word? Phishing messages campaigns. Stay safe. That's crazy. It seems like from these countries, there's X amount of WhatsApp addresses that have been leaked that is for sale. You can buy these. God, that's scary. I don't even know how and who fishes this stuff. This is crazy. How does it even get leaked? Just letting you guys know, like, this is how and why social engineering of scams is getting more and more intense and more frequent. It's like I don't even pick up phone numbers that I don't identify anymore. If it's a no caller ID, which number I don't identify, if they don't leave a voice note, I ain't calling back. Either I know you, I'm not even gonna bother picking up the phone. 9 times out of 10, it's just a call center person trying to sell me something or trying to scam me. It's annoying because the phone traditionally has been a very good form of getting in touch with someone. A couple more things, guys, I'll talk about. We're running out of time, but Elon Musk, your friendly neighborhood Twitter guy, has shared his slides from his company talk. So it seems like everything's doing good. He's got new signups at all-time high. User activity minutes also at all-time high. He's got monthly DAO, so daily active users, passes 250 million mark. So 50 million people on Twitter now. To give you an indication of a comparison of that, I think there's 200 million people per month playing Roblox, and there's over 1 billion people on Facebook. So numbers getting real crazy. Hate speech impressions are low. Wouldn't it be crazy if Twitter overtakes Facebook? It'd be insane. Advertising as entertainment, video. So it looks like Twitter 2.0 will add videos. You can can't you already add video? Advertising as entertainment. Maybe you can interact. Like the tweet and what does it say? I'll analyze your profile so you know which house you belong to and what role you would have in the world of House of Dragon. Okay, so you can interact with things. You can add so encrypted DMs, long form tweets, so tweets that may be native articles. I think Facebook does this. Relaunch Blue Verified, and if I open up Blue Verified, it shows me a few interesting things. This sort of looks like an NFT value model, to be honest. Rocket to the top of replies mentioned and search. See half the ads. You're gonna see less ads. Post longer videos. Right, so you can post longer videos. Get early access to his stuff. Get early access is super NFT related, right? You know, this is cool. Paying to get verified to get extra features is cool. Paying to get verified to say you are now valid is concerning because scammers could just make a new account and be like, yo, I'm paying $8 a month. I've got a verified check, listen to me. I don't think that model will work. Anyway, let's move on. We don't have much time, so maybe I'll just cover this point here. This is a little learning, and I think what I'll do every week is try and add a little snippet of my AI learnings every now and then. If you guys know, if you guys have been following my stuff over the last couple of weeks, you know I've been falling down the rabbit hole of artificial intelligence. Check this out. This is super interesting, right? This guy on YouTube, how to make AI generated YouTube videos, has found this tool called Pictory, where you can put a script. So you can add a script in. So right, you add your script, you edit it or whatever, and then you select the type of video you want to make. And then get this, it puts in videos in the background that it thinks from that sentence will fit in well. So it's gone dog owners usually have the goal of blah 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 blah. It's got a guy person patting the dog, and then another phrase that's talking about dog swimming, and then it's got a video of a dog swimming. So the thing about TikTok videos is you have to find these random videos to put in the back. So why not just use this for TikTok or YouTube content? Or what if, and this is a crazy idea, you could start a YouTube channel, which is all just AI generated, where where it goes out there and finds blog posts, it curates that blog post into content, it creates that content and adds a script text in the front, it adds a voice that's AI generated and it flows very easily, it adds YouTube videos in the background, and suddenly a whole YouTube channel can be made via AI, right? You could be covering the AI happenings all via automated technology from start to finish in a more human form. The power of AI is insane. It's just, oh my God. I would imagine AI is a better curator of information than human beings would be. Human beings have opinions and that's cool. AI, you can algorithmically put opinion-based math so that maybe it's non-biased. Maybe it just picks up what's trending. Maybe it picks up and adds parameters so that it just gives you the facts. But AI to curate information and give you stuff that's content that's good and to the point, I think there's super big potential in here. Anyway, so it's a video marketing tool called Pictory. It seems super cool. I'm going to check it out today and figure it out. But hey, that's what I had to share, guys. So, yeah. The world of AI, artificial intelligence, insane. I think this week I'm going to also do like I said, I'll do a podcast. I also want to line up a Twitter Spaces. I might do one on artificial intelligence. It is time to investigate this stuff, guys. You know, every now and then there comes a technology where it starts to hit an inflection point, right? And NFTs had this inflection point. And the people like Gary Vee and some others, we had Kevin Rose or some people who weren't part of the story from the start, didn't need to be part of the story from the start. They started paying attention and making moves when the industry started to show an inflection point where it was, now is the time to get ready. Now is the time to get started, right? I think artificial intelligence is at that point. It's at that point. It's at that point where we can't just read about it, where those that have businesses, if you guys have businesses, if you guys are curating information, trying to learn about the space, if you guys, I don't know, doing something in your everyday world, now is the time to look at AI technology to see how you can make that automated or make that better or faster or more efficient. Businesses that implement AI, they're going to find themselves way ahead of the curve, right? It's almost that moment where if you didn't get on the internet, you're invisible. And some projects made that happen. Some businesses made that happen. Some businesses didn't. Those that didn't and stayed with the old fashioned, let's just have a brick and mortar business that sells beds. They were beaten by other online retailers that use marketing to bring customers to online and sold beds, right? Now is the time that AI is going to be one of those things as well, where a whole business is going to run streamlined, profitable, with very little overheads, efficient, and just beat the competition because others just can't keep up. Others are running it too expensive or just aren't as good because you can't be AI once you feed it through the algorithm and you add some machine learning. It's going to get real crazy, right? Let's read some of your questions. All right, 8:42. I'm almost going over. I'm in so many projects, says Nebula. Maddie, I can't keep up with all their news. How do you do it? You just talk about Clonex drop. I didn't even know it was happening. Thank God I listened to you. Honestly, I don't even do it. I wake up 30 minutes before the stream and I pop up as many videos as I can. You know what I've started to do now? What I have started to do is have a bookmark every morning. So I've got this set of bookmarks that are open. So if I go here, I go bookmarks. I go, no. I go here, morning news, right? I go morning news. I right click this. No, I left click this. I go here, I right click this and go open all bookmarks. Now I open all these bookmarks and this goes through Hacker Noon. It goes through Reddit, subreddits. It goes through my Twitter articles, so top articles that are trending. It goes through my lists. It goes through Google. It pulls out the top Mattyverse news. It goes through all of these things. And every morning I just spend it auto just opens up everything, and I'll read it and see what's going on. Eventually, I want AI to auto open everything and pull out news that is good and trending, and then spit it out, right? I am on a constant hunt on how to curate my news better. How do I find out news really quickly, really good? And that's one thing I do. What else you got? Guys are asking. That's a good idea, Maddie. Be great to see your AI alpha. Yeah, I'll share it as frequently as possible, guys. AI is opening many new ideas, so also expect many crappy ideas in the first AI wave. Yeah, totally. The cool thing about AI is it's not like NFTs are great because they open up an economy, right? They liquidify the move to digital. So that's cool to invest in, but people are trying to find, all right, where does NFTs fit in the world of digital in the sense of utility wise? AI is good because it fits. You're finding use cases straight away, efficiency models straight away. It's got nothing to do with NFTs. It's got nothing to do with making money, or at least in the short term. It's got everything to do with making money in the long term, starting a business and implementing AI, starting a YouTube channel, a TikTok account, is starting a brand, or finding out how it can suddenly start to make your life easier and better and faster. So it's got use case first, right? Kazoma reckons the graphic design and fashion modeling industry will be taken over by AI. Honestly, I think every industry will be taken over by AI. Graphics design. I mean, graphics designers, they find colors, they look at your brand, they pull out the colors, they put into already known templates that they think works. And if you just feed the algorithm templates, you click a button and it spits out like 50 different graphic design ideas for you, with your logo, with your content, with your copy, with your assets. And you can just be like, all right, well, that's what I want. Boom, click, upload it onto your website. That's my website. Bang, done. So much of this is gonna start taking over. It might make a lot more companies lean, right? And that's why, like, if you are someone with a skill, and everyone's got skills, right? And everyone's got graphic skills, everyone's got creative skills. I think you have to build a brand. A brand is one of those things that outlasts your skill, because if you're using your skill to find a job, if you're a graphics designer, you got a job, it's great. If you lose a job, you're starting from scratch. You got zero income. You have zero. You don't have a launch pad. If you have a brand, even if it's 1,000 followers on Twitter or TikTok, if it's somewhere where you can generate more interest and ideas, people buy courses. So maybe you're a graphics designer who now knows how to use AI to better use this tool to go and sell this graphics design model. Maybe you're not graphics designing from scratch, but you're selling the AI model to companies, or maybe you're advising people on how to use AI to do good graphics, or maybe you're teaching the industry about graphics. Your YouTube channel is doing that. I know it is very difficult for some people to have a YouTube channel. Some people are introverted. I don't know where I lie. I think I'm in the middle of introvert and extrovert. It's not easy to make YouTube content. It's not familiar to make YouTube and Twitter content. You have to put a lot of yourself out there. You probably don't want to do it. But find a way to do it, whether it's computer generated content, whether it's maybe Twitter, right? Twitter, you're not really putting your face on here. Maybe even on YouTube, you use a voice that's just a voice overlay, and you can say this is, maybe that might become a cool thing to do where you're actually not using your voice. Anyway, Free the Fib says, I need to learn coding. Yeah, I honestly, there was a time last year where I was like, you know what? I'm going to just stop everything and learn how to code, because coders are going to be magicians. If you can code and figure out how to make these tools, my God, you are... Not only do you have to figure out how to make these tools, but the real magic will happen is where you figure out how to make these tools and then how to take them to businesses to implement them. That's where it's going to get real juicy with the money potential. All right, guys, we went through so much today. I can actually keep talking for another probably hour, but I will stop here. It's a pleasure to have you all joined. We have 30 people watching, which is pretty awesome. We are gonna do a giveaway on CloneX eggs in the next 2-3 days, whenever they release. Maybe one on each day, maybe. So stick here, and that's gonna be fun. We'll talk about more content tomorrow. But it's been very good, guys. Again, I will go through AI news as often as I can, share my learnings. I'm always listening to podcasts and stuff. one last bit of alpha. If you guys are podcasting or listening to content, etc., before I go, is listen to this guy. This guy is a legend. Andrew Huberman. Now, I came across his content a couple of weeks ago, but basically he breaks down, real world things like mental health, diet, nutrition, improving your happiness, understanding dopamine, understanding exercise, building strength and stamina. He talks about the science behind all that, right? So how foods and the molecules and all this sort of stuff, not really nitty gritty stuff, but very practical things as to why and how these things happen, and the research on it, and then how to fix it, some solutions for it. And where this came really interesting to me is focus, right? Focus and dopamine. Dopamine being this, seems like this thing that gets released in your mind when you feel motivated or happy. And basically the mobile phone, oh my God, I'm going on another rant now, and I need to finish this, but mobile phone, when you're on your mobile phone, and this has actually stopped me from going on my mobile phone a lot, you're basically trading your short-term dopamine hits by going through the phone. You're trading that with what was more normal, which was working for your dopamine. So working very hard on yourself, doing physical exercise or writing an article or spending time doing something for a long period of time, and then seeing the joy from the result of that. That used to be how we'd get our dopamine hits, right? Now we get it frequently by going through our phone, where we just want to go to the YouTube, we want to satisfy our thought, we go on the article, we check that out, we go on social media, we see a notification, we want to open that and say hi, we saw a messenger tweet, a messenger message, we say hi to that friend, we respond. All of these things are dopamine triggers where we just are in this constant state of satisfying our mind, because now it wants to work on this dopamine frequency, not on what it used to be before. And now you become a slave to that dopamine, those dopamine hits. So basically your phone is messing you up. I'm like, wait a second, that's just messing me up completely. So I put my phone away. I've got two different phones now. One's a work phone, one's a normal phone. And I just put everything away. I actually I've got a kid, and usually I'm on my phone when I'm near my kid. It's really bad sometimes. I'm just like, nah, let's work for my dopamine. I'm making life too easy. So anyway, all this stuff, this guy kind of breaks down, and it's just rejigged my brain a little bit. All right, I'm ending it here, guys. It's been fun to be with you guys. Tomorrow, same time, 8 a.m., we will have a chat. 2 days, have an egg open, and later on the week, we'll do a podcast. But it's been fun. Take care, all of yous, and catch you next stream around the same time.